Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we take a look at some of the whiskeys and bourbons I picked up when I was in Kentucky. I spent $1,500 give or take, and then we asked the question, how well did we do? Let's find out. Run the video. Alright then folks, if you are not a subscriber, definitely consider being one, and I'll tell you why. So we're doing a 5,000 free giveaway for you folks at home. That's all you need to be a subscriber and go over to the Whiskey Cove's webpage, go over to the shop all, and then select the free giveaway there where you can fill out some of the information to where you would want one of these exciting bottles to be sent to. Duplicates will be deleted, and so will the original, and also as well, make sure you put the address that you want the bottle to be sent to. What are the bottles that we have in this giveaway? So we have 2 more to announce, and the 4 that we have so far, we have the Willet Green Rye, we have an Old Forester single barrel strength, we have the Weller Antique 107, and then lately, the last one released was Early Times bottled in bond, but the black cap one, so one of the brown Foremans. We will also be adding 2 more bottles to this, and then we'll get that 5,000 live stream going. So that's all you need to do is just keep following some of the videos. I'll put updates in the description and on the thumbnail as we go through them. So let's get these bottles out of here. Alrighty, so we recently took a trip down to the motherland that is Kentucky. We did a couple of distillery tours while we were down there. We've released a couple of them already. I think the Old Forester one might not have dropped yet, so spoiler alert, that one is up and coming here. So with that, we also got a couple of fantastic bottles while we were down there. Super fortunate. So I roughly spent around $1,500, give or take. So let's kind of dive into some of the stuff that we were able to get there and kind of ask the question, I guess, how well do we do for our money? But before we do, let's look at some of the bottles that I was not able to kill off in the last 30 days or so. So first up, I was able to kill off a Buffalo Trace single barrel pick. Up on one of the recent videos that we did, we actually talked about not having many of these killed off because we keep taking them over to a friend's house. So I definitely needed to kill one off. And then it's a single barrel. It was a great single barrel, beautiful vanilla and caramel notes. Anytime you get a single barrel, always worth it for the money there. Buffalo Trace single barrel it is. And another single barrel we killed off was the Evan Williams single barrel. So they don't sell these outside of Kentucky anymore. I believe it's just a Kentucky only thing. Coming in at 40.3% alcohol by volume. This is just okay, I wouldn't get it again, but I guess for like $30, $40 what I paid, actually pretty good value for money there. So let's get into the bottles I was able to pick up. So yes, I didn't manage to kill off many. I've been drinking through some of the other stuff here, and I haven't been drinking that much this last month. First up, the first bottle was actually not a bourbon. This is a Welsh single malt. This is Pandora, Icons of Wales, number 9. So I haven't been able to find this one in Colorado. I don't even think that it dropped. However, when I saw it on the shelf, I just had to get it. I paid a really great price for this, about $75, $80, which is really great value for money. This one is finished in, it's matured in ex-Jamaican rum casks, and then ex-ruby port casks, so 2 interesting flavors. And if you know much about Pandora, they also like to age their single malt whiskey in ex-bourbon or ex-Buffalo Trace bourbon casks or ex-Evan Williams casks. So it does pick up some of those vanilla and kind of spicy notes there as well. I've never tried this one before, but I'm very excited to get into that. That is bottle number 1. So then next up is going to be a Baker 7. So I don't mind the juice in this, it's okay, but when you're able to find it for about $50 to $55, I think it's a definite pickup. And I have been passing on a lot of ones which are just 7 years old, and I've been kind of keeping my eye out for some of the ones that are a little bit older. This one's coming in at 8 years and 10 months. This was barreled on February 2014. So again, even though it's called Baker 7, at least 7-year-olds, this is close to a 9-year age statement with this Baker's. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more of the oaky kind of aged backbone to this. And of course, they always make fantastic decanters when you're done with that. So that was Baker 7. Next up, we went to Mictus and we bought a Mictus single barrel Kentucky Straight Rye. This was available with the Kentucky Straight Rye single barrel 10-year that they have, the 2023 edition. But they wanted like $280 for both of them. And I thought, you know, I felt like it was a little bit overpriced, so I just ended up just going with this one. I really like to pick single barrels up from distilleries. You could say that it's probably all the same, you know, it doesn't really matter too much. They probably just pick any barrel and stick it in the store. But I have found when I've gone to like Jim Beam, when I've gone to Maker's Mark and a few other different distilleries, I've picked up some of the single barrel picks that they have on site, and they've all been much better, or considerably better than a lot of the other single barrels that I've got from stores. So let's see how this guy drinks. And I think I paid about $65 for it, which isn't too bad at all. Very excited to get into this and kind of see how it stacks up against some of the other ones I've had from stores. Next up, we went to Justin's House of Bourbon and we picked up the Barrel Seagrass. This is a rye finished in apricot brandy, Martinique rum, and Madeira barrels. Excellent rye. I could have picked this up in Colorado, but we were doing a video there at Justin's House of Bourbon. Well, not a video, but we did like a little bit of a mini store haul there. So you might have already seen that. If not, go and check that out there as well. But excellent rye. If you haven't already tried this, you definitely need to get into it. The perfect summer drinking rye. We still have a couple of weeks here, maybe a month or so of summer left, so don't sleep on this guy. And I'm going quite fast because I have a shameful amount of bottles to get through. Next up, we went to staying in Justin's House of Bourbon, and we picked up the Old Forester Statesman. I've never tried the Old Forester Statesman. I paid $60 for this. ABV is 95 proof, or ABV 47.5%. So getting up there a little bit. I'll be honest, I haven't heard great things about this one, and a lot of time people say that's probably the worst one out of the whole Old Forester series, if you like. But I want to get into it. I want to try it myself, and then we'll kind of make a judgment on that as well. $60. You see it sometimes in Colorado, but it's not always sitting on shelves. But again, picked it up for the video there. And staying with Justin's House of Bourbon, we picked up the Nulu Toasted Wheated Whiskey. It's really funny actually that this has never come to Colorado, but in the last week or so that it's started to come to Colorado. So what's the chances of that, I guess? So this is a wheated whiskey coming in at 56.1% ABV or 112.2 proof. A single barrel selected by Justin's House of Bourbon. The mash bill, 51% corn, 45% wheat, and then 4% malted barley. So very high in wheat. And again, a toasted whiskey as well. I'm expecting big things out of this. I paid $85, so I'm hoping this does not let me down. The only one concern that I have is that it is a 5-year product. So it's 5 years old, that's the age in it. So I'm hoping maybe not too much that youthful notes come through, but I guess we'll have to wait and see there. But that was the Nulu Toasted Whiskey, toasted wheat whiskey. Do we have any more Justin's House of Bourbon here? Yes, we do. Wanted to get some of those bottom shelfers that you can't get in Colorado, and that was JTS Brown coming in at $17.99. Bottled in bond, 50% ABV or 100 proof. We can't get this in Colorado. This was on my shopping list when I went out there, and again, $18. Easy money, I guess, right? Cheap as chips. And then the last bottle from Justin's House of Bourbon was Old Bardstown Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, distilled and bottled by the Willet Distillery. I paid $29.99 for this. I feel like it might have been a little bit too much money that I wanted to spend. However, I'm glad I managed to finally pick this bottle up there as well. Not really expecting big things from it. It is 50% ABV or 100 proof because it is bottled in bond. There's a plastic top that doesn't necessarily scream premium. However, the jury is out because I haven't tried it yet. I'm hoping that this might surprise me here. But again, for $30, I think it was worth a swing at least. So that was all of the Justin's House of Bourbons done. Actually, let's talk quickly about rum. So Michael, who is a big fan of the channel and a big friend of mine, he went down to Jamaica and he wanted to bring back a bottle for me. And this is Jamaican Lion Dark Rum, 40% ABV or 80 proof. I don't know too much about it. It's just a gift that he gave me. Thank you, Michael. It says produced and bottled for Royal Jamaican Rums in Kingston, Jamaica, under the excise duty law. Again, you can kind of see it has like a little bit of lion on the front. I don't mind rum from time to time, so I'm super excited to get into this one as well. I appreciate you, Michael, for bringing that. I couldn't tell you how much it was, but a very nice gift indeed. So then next up, we have a bottle that's been on my radar for quite a while here, and that is Old Medley 12, coming in at 86.8 proof or 43.4% ABV. So I believe this distillery, or this company, I guess, because they didn't distill this. This is sourced from Kentucky and then bottled by the Charles Medley Distillery in California there. I think this was just kind of like a one and done run because I don't think that they had different releases. I think they just had one release. So a lot of people say this is a little bit of a lower proofer on the 40% ABV. However, I really wanted to try it. Like I said, it is a 12-year age-stated whiskey. I saw the mash bill for what this was online and I couldn't sync it up to any other distillery, so I don't know what that means, but I wasn't able to kind of narrow it down which distillery this juice might come from. Let's crack it open, get it on the palate, and then we'll kind of go from there to see if I can kind of give you guys some feedback and girls about where I think this might come. But I am excited to get into this. This cost me about $60, so I don't think that's terrible value for money for a 12-year-old whiskey these days at least. So that was Old Medley 12. Next up was the Buffalo Trace single barrel pick that we managed to score on the way out of Colorado on our way to Kentucky. We picked this up from Total Beverage. This cost us about $28.99, a single barrel Buffalo Trace pick. This is barrel number 201. I'm excited by it. Let's hope it's good. It's a Buffalo Trace single barrel. It's not going to be bad. We still have a lot of bottles left, so let's keep cycling them off. Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. This is 100% ABV or 100% proof or 50% ABV. They just released it. This kind of looks like the same bottle as the Bonded and triple mash. Wasn't a big fan of the triple mash, but the Bonded blew my socks off last year. I'm hoping of more the same from this Jack Daniel's Rye. I paid $29.99 for this guy, so it is 100 proof, like I said, of 50% ABV because it is bottled in bond. Very excited. Let's hope that it gets close to the Bonded from last year, the bourbon, but we'll see. Let's get this box out here. So we were in Evan Williams. We did the Evan Williams tour experience. We picked up this guy. This was $79.99, and this is Evan Williams Masters Blend. This is Kentucky's first distiller, Evan Williams, and this is coming in at 45% ABV or 90 proof. A little bit low on the lower side of proof there for an $80 bottle, but it's a pretty special bottle because you can kind of only get it there. You might be able to get it in Japan, I'm not sure, but you can definitely get it at the Evan Williams experience there. Comes with a really nice wax cork. Evan Williams, you don't normally see that it's, at that sort of price. You normally, if you think of like the Bonded and your Black Label and a single barrel, they all kind of sit between like $10 to $35. So this is a little bit on the higher end. Let's see if that price improves the quality drastically. That wasn't the only bottle that we picked up from Evan Williams experience. We also picked up the long-awaited Evan Williams 12, another bottle that I've been kind of looking for a long time. I believe that they sell this guy in Japan for like 40 bucks. I think it was like $130 at the Evan Williams experience, so quite expensive. This is 101 proof of 50.5% ABV. Like I said, aged 12 years. Very difficult, very difficult bottle to get a hold of. I've been looking for this for a while, and I was surprised when they rang it up after I did the tour. You had to do the tour to be able to buy it, and then when they rang it up at the register and they said like 130 bucks. I was like, oh, that's quite expensive for an Evan Williams product. But much like the Blender Select, let's see if the added money can kind of increase the overall consistency of the whiskey in general. I guess we'll wait and see. Is it worth the money? We'll find out in the future. So then moving on, and then we picked up the new Riff, two new releases. So this one is the Blue Claridge, and this one is the Yellow Leeming, both Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys. This is a Northern Kentucky bourbon mashed with an Ohio Valley original heirloom blue corn, so very old blue corn kind of grain that they use for this. And the Yellow Leeming is a Kentucky bourbon mashed with the granddaddy of American heirloom yellow corn. So they're just kind of going back to some older corn grains and kind of seeing if that kind of can take on a new flavor here with this whiskey. I really like kind of how the uniqueness of this. We've had some really great success with New Riff, so I'm hoping that this can definitely stack up. So the Yellow Leeming corn mash bill is going to be 65% Yellow Leeming corn, 30% rye, 5% malted barley, aged at least 5 years. And then the Blue Claridge is going to be 65% Blue Claridge corn, 30% rye, and then 5% malted barley, also aged at least 5 years by New Riff. I paid about $59.99 for these, so still really good value for money. Let's see if this kind of experimental old tradition kind of matches up and can produce some really great results. Definitely looking forward to these two bottles here as well. So we did a tour of Old Forester, and it was a great timing because they were releasing the Old Forester bonded. Why I have two is because they let you buy two. And I even asked her, I was like, is it okay to buy two? And she's like, yeah, we have a bunch of the stuff. So I was able to buy two, and I believe that they cost around about $65 each. And this is part of the 117 series, coming in 50% ABV or 100 proof because it is bottled in bond there as well. I'm excited by these. The only shame is what they are, the 375 milliliter bottles, but then combined, I paid about 130 for a full-size bottle. Maybe that's their way of kind of getting around some of the higher prices that you do see on Whiskey Row. But very happy that I was able to get these unique, special, allocated bottles there as well. So let's get on to the big stuff, I guess. We managed to pick up a Stag Junior for the right bold price of MSRP at $59.99, which you just do not see anymore. I don't know which batch this is. I believe it's some of the newer ones. And this is 66.1% alcohol or 132.2 proof. So I'm sure some of you folks at home will know which batch that is. I think it might be like the 22A. It's all got a little bit funny in the Stag world. And I keep calling it Stag Junior. It's just Stag now. But anytime you find one of these guys for MSRP is always a hit. And I'm very excited that I was able to try this one. I say try it, buy it, I should say. I'm hoping that this is as good as all the other stags that I was able to get there as well. And it's a shame that I wasn't able to find this in time for the stag blind that we did a little while back. And then another bottle that's been on my radar for quite a while, and one that I'm very happy that I was able to get, and that is Blanton Gold. So Blanton's Gold, I think it was released in Colorado like a few years ago and never really came back. And then recently that we actually had a drop here in the summer, but I wasn't around to be able to get my hands on it. However, we were able to get it in Kentucky of all the places. This was bottled on October 5, 2022 from barrel number 672 there as well. This is, what ABV is on this guy? I don't know too much about Blanton's Gold, if I'll be honest. It is 103 proof or 51.5% ABV. The bag feels a little bit more special than a regular Blanton's bag, I'll say that for sure. The number on this, or the letter, is going to be L for Lima. And the box is a little bit yellow. This did come at a pretty penny, and I think it was about $170, which isn't too bad here for Blanton's Gold. I actually didn't know that Buffalo Trace made too many allocated whiskeys quite expensive, but I guess that this one is just kind of, it is Blanton's Gold, I guess. I don't know the age statement on it, but I think it does get up there. It might even be 12 years old. I guess I'll have to look, but it is the gold edition. I've always wanted to also find straight from the barrel as well, but I'm very excited and happy with this, and it has a cool gold horse on there as well, because we know how much people love the Blanton's horses. And yes, you know, you could say that the juice in these guys, or maybe not so much the Blanton's Gold, but the regular Blanton's is overhyped. But if you find them for MSRP, it's actually pretty good value for money. That's my humble opinion anyway. Then lastly, we have one more bottle left, and that's was the bottle I was able to get from the Mictus distillery. I had to line up for a couple of hours and then come back later in the day, but we picked up the Mictus. This is the Mictus Fort Nelson Reserve. What this is, it is a single barrel strength Kentucky bourbon whiskey that I was able to fill up myself on site, and then they capped it. So this is a very personalized bottle to me. It came in around about $160, $170, but an awesome box. It has my own label and the Whiskey Cove on there. It has the bottle date of August 11th, 2023. The ABV is 54.7% ABV or 109.4 proof. It has some really cool information on the inside as well, and just all around a very nice bottle, and a kind of a memorable bottle to mark the trip off. So we asked the question at the beginning of all this, after spending about $1,500, how did we do? So just kind of like the recap: Evan Williams 12, Blanton's Gold, Stag, 2 Old Forester 117s. We got this Fort Nelson Reserve and just a bunch of other stuff as well. So I think we did pretty well. I think I wasn't thinking that I would find the Blanton's Gold, the Stag, all this. I was really just hoping for the Evan Williams Red and maybe a couple other things. And this stuff doesn't just fall in my lap. Like I said, I had to line up for this for a couple hours and then come back later in the day. And my wife will tell you, I probably hit about 30 different liquor stores on my trip. So it's not just about going into a store and just getting lucky. It's about being persistent. It's about going into the areas of like the hood and different areas that you don't think people will go searching for whiskey. And that's what you got to do. That's part of the whiskey hustle. I'm very fortunate that I was able to get these on my trip. I'm not going to probably be spending much money on whiskey for a while here. So don't expect another store haul video to come out anytime soon. But again, very happy, very humble humbled that I was able to get all these. And I know this video is a little bit lengthy, but we picked up a lot of great whiskey here as well. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to be in for a chance to win at some of those excellent bottles we mentioned in the beginning. So as we drink through the world's whiskey, well, it'll take a long time to drink through all this world whiskey, but we'll give it a go here soon. Cheers.